forest had a rhythm, a pulse I'd learned to read over 15 years as a ranger in Pinewood National Park. I knew when the weekenders would descend, their SUVs churning gravel, their voices shattering the stillness. I knew which trails buckled after mountain rains, their ruts swallowing boots, and how to spot a black bear's curiosity before it turned ugly. My outpost, a reinforced cabin perched on the park's northern fringe, was my anchor. A Spartan setup of maps papering the walls, a radio that hissed more than it spoke, and enough coffee to outlast a winter storm. It was much, but it was mine, a place where I could impose order on the wild. That morning, my watch read 9:17 a.m., the air sharp with pine and damp moss. I was restocking first aid kits, my fingers moving through bandages and antiseptic, when the door exploded inward, the windows rattling like loose teeth. A man and a woman stumbled in, gasping, their faces etched with terror. She was streaked with dirt, her eyes wild, while he cradled his right arm, his flannel sleeve torn, blood-crusted dark. "You have to help us," she gasped. "Something killed our dog. It's still out there." I stepped around my desk, training kicking in. "Slow down. Sit." I pointed to the bench, its wood worn smooth by years of anxious campers. "Are you hurt?" The man grimaced. "Just my arm. Fell running." I grabbed the medical kit, my mind already sorting possibilities. Bear, cougar, maybe a spooked elk. "I'm James Bennett, head ranger." "Your name's?" "Sarah Jenkins," the woman said, clutching her husband's good arm. "This is Mike." I examined Mike's arm. A nasty gash, but not life-threatening. "When did this happen? Where's your campsite?" "Last night," Mike said, wincing as I cleaned the wound. "Site 47, by Clearwater." Sarah's voice quivered. "It wasn't a bear or a cougar. I've seen those. This was different." I nodded, keeping my tone neutral. Campers often misread wildlife in the dark, fear twisting shadows into monsters. "What did it look like?" Sarah leaned forward, her fingers digging into Mike's arm. Pale, almost white, human-shaped, but wrong. Too thin, too tall. Mike added, "It stalked our site for an hour, then went for Buddy, our retriever. Tore him apart while we hid in the tent." I finished bandaging Mike's arm, my skepticism honed by years of Bigfoot tales and alien sightings. "Most likely a cougar. They look bigger at night." Sarah shook her head. "It stood on two legs, had arms, not paws. Its eyes glowed yellow in our flashlight." Her conviction gave me pause, but I pushed it aside. "I'll investigate. Stay here. Coffee's in the pot, rations in the cupboard." I moved to the equipment locker, loading my field pack, GPS, first aid, water, radio, tranquilizer gun. Standard for wildlife incidents. "I'm coming," Sarah said, standing. "That's not advisable," I said. "If there's a predator." "I need to get Buddy's remains," she interrupted, her voice cracking. "We can't leave him." Mike touched her arm. "Sarah, maybe stay here." "No," she said, her eyes meeting mine, resolute. "Please." Her insistence troubled me. Most campers avoided danger, not chased it. But her desperation won out. "Fine. Stay close, follow orders, no questions. If I say run, you run." "Understood." She nodded, wiping her face. I handed Mike a blanket. "Rest that arm. We'll be back soon." As we left, Sarah's eyes darted to the forest's edge, the trees looming like silent sentinels. I reassured her, "We'll find out what happened," though I was already filing this as another case of mistaken identity. Cougar, maybe a bear. Nothing I hadn't handled before. I couldn't know then that this call would unravel everything I thought I understood about Pinewood, and what lurked in its shadows. The hike to Site 47 was quiet, Sarah scanning the trees obsessively while I kept a steady pace. The forest pressed in, the air thick with pine and an undercurrent of something metallic, like rusted iron. My GPS beeped as we crested a ridge, the campsite coming into view. A blue-gray tent sagging, its pole bent. Scattered supplies littered the ground. A lantern toppled, food containers spilled, a cooler overturned. "This is how we left it," Sarah whispered. "We just ran." I knelt, examining the ground. The tracks weren't right. Not bear paws, not cougar prints. They were elongated, for slender digits with a drag mark, like something unnatural had passed through. Not sure yet, I said, brushing off Sarah's question. Could be rain distortion, but the lie felt hollow. Rain didn't make tracks like these. Where was Buddy? I asked. She pointed to a break in the trees. He ran that way when it came. We heard him yelping. I followed the trail. Broken ferns, snapped twigs, smears of blood. Sarah close behind, her breathing shallow. The path led to a clearing, and there, in the trampled grass, lay Buddy's remains. The retriever's body was mangled, lacerations precise, almost surgical, organs partially removed. This wasn't a bear's chaos or a cougar's kill. Sarah choked. Oh God, Buddy. I held up a hand, scanning for threats. The forest had gone silent. No birds, no insects, just an oppressive stillness that prickled my neck. Something's wrong, I said, unshouldering my tranquilizer gun. It's watching us, Sarah whispered, crouched by her dog. I scanned the trees, my pulse quickening. Her words echoed my instincts. The silence was deliberate. We were being observed. Then Sarah froze, her eyes fixed above me. It's here, she breathed. I followed her gaze to the tree line 20 feet up. Perched on a branch was a figure that defied reason. Pale, translucent skin stretched over a skeletal frame, limbs too long, joints bending wrong. Its head was elongated, needle-like teeth glinting in a lipless mouth. Yellow eyes glowed, unblinking, studying us with predatory intelligence. This was no bear, no cougar, nothing I'd been trained for. My training failed me for a moment, my breath caught. Then Sarah's whimper snapped me back. These people needed me. I raised the tranquilizer rifle, aimed at its chest, and fired. The dart hit true, embedding in its flesh. The creature looked at it, curious, then screamed. A piercing, inhuman wail. Instead of collapsing, it leapt to another tree, vanishing into the canopy, branches swaying in its wake. What the hell was that? I gasped. That's what killed Buddy, Sarah said, pale. That's what I tried to tell you. The tranquilizer gun felt useless in my hands. That dose would have dropped a grizzly, but this thing barely flinched. We need to go. Now. What about Buddy? Wrap him in something from your tent. I need to track it. I checked the rifle, my mind racing. If it's in my park, I need to know what it is. Sarah's eyes widened. You saw what it did. You can't. Exactly why I have to, I said. Other visitors could be in danger. Stay at the clearing. If anything happens, run to the station. Mike's there. She nodded reluctantly. I handed her my flashlight. Be careful. The creature's trail was blatant, broken branches, gouges in tree trunks. I moved deeper into the northeastern sector, a remote area I rarely patrolled. Its terrain rough, sunlight dimmed by thick trees. The tracks grew subtle, disturbed moss, a broken frond, suggesting it was covering its path. After 15 minutes, the trail ended at a fallen oak. The forest was silent again, unnaturally so. I scanned the trees, the hairs on my neck rising. I was being watched. The attack came from above. A blur of motion, then a weight slammed into my shoulders, driving me to the ground. Pain erupted in my left arm as claws sliced through my sleeve. The creature's weight was crushing, its breath hot and reeking of rot. I twisted, jabbing an elbow into its side, earning a hiss. Rolling free, I grabbed the tranquilizer gun and fired twice into its torso as it lunged. Its yellow eyes widened, convulsions racking its frame. Collapsed, chest rising shallowly. I backed away, blood soaking my sleeve. Up close, the creature was worse. Limbs too long, joints unnatural, skin translucent with visible veins. Scars crisscrossed its body, precise and surgical, like medical incisions. This wasn't natural. It was made. What are you? I whispered. A scream pierced the forest. Sarah came from the clearing half a mile away. I grabbed my radio and gun, sprinting back, blood loss blurring my vision. Bursting into the clearing, I froze. Sarah lay crumpled near Buddy's remains, her torso torn open with surgical precision, organs removed. Her revolver lay unfired beside her. A second creature crouched over her, feeding, its face smeared with blood. Rage consumed me. I drew my sidearm, shouting, "Hey!" The creature's head snapped up, yellow eyes locking onto mine. I fired 3 shots, chest, face, black fluid erupting from the wounds. Staggered, fleeing into the trees. I pursued, firing until my final bullet hit its skull. Collapsed, dead, black fluid pooling. I returned to Sarah, kneeling beside her. Her face was untouched, eyes glassy.
"I'm sorry," he whispered, closing her eyelids.
The forest darkened as evening fell. I radioed, Ranger Bennett, 2 civilian casualties at 44.12 by 73.89. Requesting backup, medical examiner. Over. Copy, Miller. Nature of incident. Came the response. I hesitated. Severe wildlife attack. Area not secure. Approach with caution. Backup dispatched. TA 40 minutes. I built makeshift barriers with branches and tent materials, my arm numb, blood-soaked. Darkness fell, every sound amplifying my fear. The silence returned, oppressive. I clutched Sarah's revolver, 6 rounds loaded. 40 minutes passed, then 50, then an hour. No backup. My radio crackled with static, unresponsive. I was alone, injured, out of ammo, with 2 bodies and the possibility of more creatures. At 5:43 a.m., dawn's light filtered through, easing my dread slightly. The creatures seemed nocturnal. My radio crackled. Ranger Bennett, Extraction Team Alpha approaching. Do you copy? Copy. Clearing is 50 yards northeast of Site 47. Area may not be secure. Understood. ETA 3 minutes. I stood, revolver ready. The team emerged, 4 rangers, including Carlos Diaz, a veteran colleague, and 2 men in unmarked black tactical gear, their grim expressions unsettling. No insignia, no standard equipment. Carlos rushed to me. "Jesus, James, what happened?" Before I could answer, the men in black examined Sarah's body with clinical detachment, no documentation. I told Carlos, 2 casualties. Unknown predator, not a bear or cougar. I killed one over there, tranquilized another half a mile northeast. One of the men spoke into a radio. Team 2, check northeast quadrant. Subject neutralized, potentially mobile. Carlos frowned. Team 2, I shook my head. A medic bandaged my arm, ignoring my questions about the men. They loaded the creature's body into a biohazard-marked containment unit. No photos taken. What about protocol? I asked the medic. They're handling it, she said, avoiding my eyes. Carlos helped me up. Fletcher wants you at headquarters for debriefing. I need a hospital. After debriefing, he said, not meeting my gaze. The men in black approached. We'll take it from here. I've radioed the basics, I said, wincing. 2 civilians dead, unidentified predators. The man nodded. The bear has been neutralized. Good work. Bear. I stared. That wasn't a bear. His expression didn't change. Rogue grizzly killed 2 visitors. That's what happened. A 3rd team arrived, wrapping Sarah's body without evidence collection. I protested. You need to document the scene. This wasn't a bear. A hand gripped my shoulder. Ranger Bennett, you're in shock. Let's get you to headquarters. Carlos looked away. Just go with them, James. I was led to an unmarked SUV, the clearing sanitized behind me. At headquarters, we bypassed medical, heading to a conference room. Regional Director Fletcher sat with the men in black. Sit, James, he said, his tone final. I need medical attention, I said, standing. Seat. Complied, my arm throbbing. Fletcher slid a folder across. A tragic bear attack killed Sarah and Mike Jenkins. You terminated the bear, sustaining injuries. That wasn't a bear, I said. It was bipedal, humanoid, with surgical scars. It shouldn't exist. Silence. Fletcher exchanged glances with the men. Your record is exemplary, James. No disciplinary actions. Stable psych evals until now. What are you implying? Trauma affects perception, Fletcher said. Blood loss causes hallucinations. I know what I saw. Where's the creature's body? Fletcher pushed a document forward. Official report. Rogue grizzly attacked. The bear's remains are at wildlife management. Anger surged. A man opened a laptop, showing a satellite image of my sister's house in Portland. Martha Bennett, science teacher. Lives alone since her divorce. What does she have to do with this? I demanded. Nothing, Fletcher said. And we'd like to keep it that way. You're threatening my family to cover this up? No threats, the man said. Just emphasizing accurate reporting. Fletcher pushed a pen toward me. Take a month's paid leave. Your arm needs to heal. This will be behind us. And if I refuse? Psychological reevaluation. Possible medical discharge. Paranoia could require intervention. I signed, each stroke a betrayal. When I return, this won't be over, I said. The man smiled thinly. I think you'll find it is. I left, their eyes burning into me. They could force my signature, but not my silence. Something was wrong in Pinewood, and those creatures were just the start. 2 months later, I returned, my uniform stiff, scars itching. The station went quiet as I entered, colleagues avoiding my gaze. Carlos muttered, "Glad you're better," but wouldn't look up. My file claimed stress-induced hallucinations from a bear attack, but I hadn't forgotten. I was assigned night patrols, punishment duty. Fletcher's message was clear. During leave, I'd studied old maps, marking the northeastern sector, labeled Sector 7 in archives as the creature's origin. I parked near a patrol point, veering into the forest. The night distorted shapes, every snap conjuring needle teeth. I found a wildlife monitoring station, a military-grade camera with infrared and satellite uplink, far beyond park budgets. I photographed it, documenting 3 more, plus a motion sensor disguised as a rock. For weeks, I played the model ranger by day, exploring Sector 7 at night, mapping security measures. In the archives, I copied incident reports, bear attacks, missing hikers, restricted area violations, all clustering around Sector 7, increasing over 3 years. Red pins marked my closet wall, a hidden timeline of death. 3 weeks in, I hit a breakthrough. While photographing a camera array in Sector 7, footsteps approached. I hid behind an oak, hand on my sidearm. Marcus Chun, a senior ranger with 25 years, appeared, checking a non-park device. "Late for bird watching, Marcus?" I said. He spun, dropping the device. "Jesus, James, what are you doing? Could ask you the same." I nodded at the device. "Not park issue. Night inventory," he said, recovering. "Director's project." At 2 a.m. in a restricted area? I stepped closer. "You've seen them, haven't you? The creatures." His face closed. "I don't know what you're talking about. I checked response records. You were first on scene for 3 bear attacks in this sector. Surgical precision, missing organs." He pulled me deeper into the trees. "Drop this, James. Go home." "How long have you known?" Depressed. He sighed. 20 years. They said it was a wildlife disease research facility. National security. Confidential. What is it really? You really want to know? He looked weary. 16 years ago, I found tracks that didn't match any species. Men in black SUVs took over, sanitized the scene. I have a family. I did what I was told. How many died because you stayed silent? How many more if I'd spoken? He snapped. They'd eliminate me, my family. You got a warning because you're valuable. What's in Sector 7? He handed me a worn key card. Southwest maintenance shed, hidden access panel. This opens it. You're on your own. Where'd you get this? First responder, before they replaced half the staff. His eyes bored into mine. We never had this conversation. I slipped the card into my pocket. Thank you. Don't. I'm probably signing your death warrant. He vanished into the dark. That night, I prepared extra batteries, camera, protein bars, water, sidearm. I hiked to the maintenance shed, a forgotten wooden structure. Inside, I found the access panel under a carpet. The key card clicked, revealing a concrete tunnel sloping downward, chemical-scented air stinging my nose. At its end, a metal door opened to a clearing, a razor wire fence surrounding concrete buildings. Floodlights lit guards in black tactical gear, not rangers. A sign read USFS Restricted Research Facility, but the security screamed military. A transport vehicle carried a containment unit like the one from the clearing. This was it, the creature's source. I photographed everything: guards, buildings, security measures. I needed more than photos. I needed inside. Over days, I surveilled the facility, noting patterns. Thursdays had heavy staff rotations, perfect for infiltration. I modified my uniform, removing patches, adding a fake badge. In the tunnel, the antiseptic smell was stronger. I swiped the card, stepping into the night, blending with lab coats and security. The main research building's side entrance opened with the card. Inside, fluorescent lights glared, corridors humming with activity. I followed signs to the records room, the card granting access. At a terminal, I entered Marcus's username and password, Chen72, Pinewood 1995. The system opened, revealing Project Wendigo. Files detailed human experiments, predator DNA integration, enhanced strength, accelerated healing. Subjects were death row inmates, volunteered without consent. A security breach 6 months ago let 3 escape. W7, W9, W12. W7 and W9 were recovered. W12 remained at large. A feeding log chilled me. Subjects needed live protein sources after synthetic diets failed. I photographed everything, then noticed an alarm. Red lights flashed, a voice announcing unauthorized access in Section B. I grabbed my phone and fled, following emergency exits deeper into the facility. A partially open door led to a catwalk overlooking a 3-story chamber. Glass cells held creatures, some near-human, others monstrous, skin stretched over warped bones. In one, a creature like W9 crouched. A containment unit delivered a goat, which W9 dissected with surgical precision, mirroring Sarah's wounds. Nausea hit me. The alarm shifted. Containment breach in Section 3. Evacuate lower levels. Staff fled, leaving security. I spotted a utility access panel, pried it open, and climbed a shaft, emerging in a maintenance room. A tunnel led to a drainage ditch a mile away. I ran to my hidden vehicle, drove home, and uploaded the evidence to cloud servers, sending links to journalists with a 24-hour failsafe. At 3:15 a.m., glass shattered. 3 figures in tactical gear burst into my bedroom. A tranquilizer dart hit my shoulder, warmth spreading. They searched my cabin, finding my notebook. Evidence secured, one said. Subject contained. I woke, restrained on a metal table in a sterile room. Subject prepped for baseline, a voice said. Dr. Harrison wants biometrics before the procedure. Footsteps left. Silence fell. I twisted my wrist, freeing a scalpel I'd palmed during the struggle. I cut the restraints, hiding my freedom. An alarm wailed. Perimeter breach, Western Sector. Protocol Omega. W12 had attacked. A scientist entered, freezing when she saw me. I pressed the scalpel to her neck. Where's my equipment? Storage locker, 3rd door right, she stammered. I bound her in a closet and retrieved my uniform, finding a baton. I headed for the control room, dodging security. Marcus collided with me, bloodied but armed. Missed our check-in, he said. Figured they'd brought you here. 3 cells breached, he said, handing me a pistol. We need the control room. We used service corridors, avoiding creatures. The control room door was open, black fluid trailing inside. Marcus went first, drawing fire. A larger W12 dropped from the ceiling, attacking. I reached the terminal, transferring files to external servers and activating the self-destruct. Facility purge in 15 minutes. Marcus was pinned, W12's claws at his throat. I fired, emptying my clip. Marcus joined and W12 fell, black fluid pooling. 8 minutes, I said, helping him up. We fled, avoiding creatures. At an elevator, a security team ambushed us, led by a man in black. We fought, Marcus taking hits. A creature attacked him, and he pushed me into the elevator, handing me his card. "Make it right," he gasped, facing the guards as the doors closed. I emerged in a utility building as explosions began. I ran, reaching an emergency cache with a satellite phone. By dawn, federal agents swarmed, calling it a gas leak. I watched, knowing the truth was out. Have you ever sensed something watching you in the wild? Its presence chillingly real yet unseen? Would you risk everything to expose a hidden danger, or protect your loved ones by staying silent?